Hello and good morning. We are live, which means you are live. Now, if we weren't live, would we be having this conversation? I don't know. We might have to ask later when we're not live, if we're ever not live, because we're always live. So hi, you are live. Good morning, good afternoon. Nancy, Rhonda, Donna, hello. Let us know, punch in where you're calling us from. Is that light a little bright behind me? Well, oh well. Might bleach us out a little bit, but here we are. I'll try to move this way. Hi. The sun changes all the time, so you never quite know what's happening. But I moved out here in a more open area because, well, ultimately, why do we do anything? Because we felt like it. Because I felt like it. I wanted to be with us in something a little more open. I really wanted to sit outside, but oddly enough, it's too hot in the sun, so you never know what's happening. So good morning, good afternoon. I see Turkey. I see, what do I see? Boulder, Colorado. I'm seeing, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Hi. Dagmar. Great. Sibylla. Hello from Germany. Hello, sweetheart. Well, that's nice. From Cordoba, Argentina. I'm somebody's sweetheart. There we go. Anna Lumi. So, where are we today? Well, we're here. Where were you yesterday? Here. Tomorrow. Here. When? Now. So now that we've established ourselves, because we're always kind of established, I started, as I do, waking up in the middle of the night and scribbling down thoughts, and I didn't string them all together because I thought we'd string them together. So that's what we're going to play with this morning, a little bit of stringing. Letting it flow through us, but trying not to get too caught in the mind, because really, we think so much of the mind, body, mind, healing, so important. But the mind, and really the soul, it's just a ripple in the experience of consciousness, as they say. Our past lives, as we view them, are really ripples. Rupert Spira talks about whirlpools and ripples, and they're ripples of a previous whirlpool, and when that whirlpool leaves, new ripples come in. I mean, it's really just an ongoing flow, isn't it? And we've talked about healing, the pathless path, the direct path, the progressive path. And I do like the way Rupert helps explaining it. The pathless path is simply, well, let's start the other way around. The progressive path is really going to your true nature. It's just kind of taking a less direct way, more indirect. It's a seeking of happiness, but isn't everything a seeking of happiness? Why do you think I decided to sit out here where there's more room in the light? It was me seeking happiness as we get to share together, because that's what it is. So the progressive path is a seeking of happiness or enlightenment, but the seeking requires, well, first to seek. We're telling ourselves we're not there yet. We should consider whether we like that message, that we're not there, and then yet moves it even into the later. But it's progressive. We start here, we go to there, we go to there, we go to there, we go to there. It's an indirect route back to us, because ultimately, where are we coming back to? Us, our essence. It just takes a lot longer. Maybe it's a little more scenic in some ways, snap pictures. The The direct path is when we allow ourselves to come in and investigate what Rupert and maybe Francis Lucille might refer to as self-inquiry. Okay? And the pathless path is simply abiding where we are. So it's how we want to go about it. Or the recognition that we are already who we are looking for and where we are looking to be. And variations in between. Sometimes even the concept of looking to understand can be a distancing, a delay. It's very legitimate to want to understand healing. It's a legitimate desire to want to understand healing, for the mind to want to explain healing. And it's an enjoyable path of exploration. We want to understand healing. The thing is, the more we understand, the more we realize we can't understand healing. We can't understand healing. Why? Because healing cannot be understood with what? It can't be understood with the mind. And that's where understanding is. Understanding is not knowing. We confuse knowing with having some answers we've been given and being able to spit them back out again and tell other people the answers we've memorized. Understanding is done with the mind. Healing doesn't take place in the mind. Even the concept of body-mind healing, it doesn't mean that it doesn't move us or allow us to experience healing at a greater level, but that's not really ultimately what healing is. Healing is. Healing is. And the mind won't understand it, and neither will we that way. So why are we so invested in it? It's our nature. We want to understand things. Our mind is screaming, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. Our personality is screaming, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. Our persona, ego, whatever word we want to use, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. But when we allow ourselves to recognize that you are healing, I am. Can we explain I am? No. There is a felt recognition of it. We run around going, I'm angry, I'm hungry, I'm pissed off, I'm irritated, I'm laughing, I'm this, I'm that, and the other, but, drop the last word, and what are we left with? I am. I am. Do we have a recognition of it? Yeah. Do we understand it with the mind? No. But even now, while we're talking, quietly or silently or to yourself, slowly say, I am. You're looking at me, but I asked you to say it, so don't make me walk down there. Ready? Again. I am. What is your experience of, what do you notice? What do you observe? What do you experience when you say, I am? It's really infinite peace being. Whatever you add after I am doesn't add to it, it compresses it. I am annoyed. I am waiting. I am watching the phone. I am trying to focus on this. I'm trying to listen. I am not understanding. I am expecting the doorbell to ring any minute, and I have to keep my ear there. I am this, I am that, I am the other. You can't add to I am. because it's infinite. You can't add to the infinite. Any attempt to add to it is really, you compress it, you condense it to the waiting, to the angry, to the my focus is off, to the trying. You can't add to the infinite. We try to. Healing being, love, is infinite. It allows us to reconnect with the recognition that we are God, we are love, we are beingness, we are infinite. So, what happens when we try to add to the infinite? I'm going to add this new technique to the infinite. Move your hands 3 times counterclockwise and then clap them together. Boom, 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 boom. What happened? We condensed. We put what came after I am, which is infinite, and we said, I am adding. I am this technique. I am that. And we compressed our focus to whatever followed I am. But when we pause, breathe in with me. Exhale. Again, breathe in. And on the exhale, say to yourself, I am. That's it, nothing following it. I am. Can you find a border to it? No. A boundary? An edge? No. A beginning? An end? No. Can you find a middle? Of course not. There is no middle without a beginning or an end. And anything we add to I am becomes a compression. Anything we add to the infinite of healing becomes a division, a separation, a weakening, a dilution, a compression. Including our healing techniques. They focus us here, here, here. I am happy. I am doing this. I am wonderful. I am enjoying. I am healing. But I am is the infinite. That's why, for those of you who have learned or will be learning Reconnective healing, we let you know from the very beginning, there is no technique because there's no division. There's the I am beingness. So it's the reconnection of all healing. I think I used the example a couple weeks ago of the old-fashioned kind of an ice tray in a refrigerator. You fill the ice tray with water, you put something in that has little cube-like dividers into it, so as it freezes, they're all separate. But what happens when you remove the divider? They sort of remain separate for a while till they return to their natural state, fluid, and all of the ice turns to water, all of the water, our essence, reconnects because it's never really been divided or separated. Reconnective healing. How is it, people say, why is it that when I start to facilitate reconnective healing, I'm experiencing all the gifts, all the benefits of all the energy healing techniques I've learned, and some of the ones that my friends have learned that I haven't learned yet? Because there's no division. There's no separation by doing it this way, that way, or the other. There's nothing we can add to I am. There's nothing we can add to I am God, I am love, I am healing. If we add, we condense. Can't bring more to the infinite. Oh, I have another infinite. Can't have two infinites, then neither are infinite. Except the only thing that becomes a challenge to us in understanding this is attempting to be more, to be special, instead of allowing us to be who we are, infinite. Infinite. There's always flavors happening. Recognize that you are a symphony of potential, unfolding, exploring, discovering. breathe with that concept for a moment. Breathe with it. There's a subtle, yet not so subtle distinction between I am and I am this or I am that. You are awareness. I am aware of being, and I am an aware being. They're actually two different things. I'm aware of being. I am an aware being. And we begin to explore, and at some point we allow ourselves to let go and relax and return to I am. Anything that requires effort, including the effort of thought, is not sustainable. And yet I am is. It is always because it is. It's who we discover when we allow ourselves to be. Who are you? What are you here to do, to experience, to explore? It starts by listening to, or it culminates when we allow ourselves to listen to ourselves. I was having a conversation with, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18. And he was trying to decide, this kid, an intelligent kid, where to go to school, which school to attend, how to choose his university, where he's going to live, where he's going to study. He's listening to his parents, he's listening to his parents' friends, he's discussing it with a lot of people, and you could see his head is spinning with, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, should I do this, I don't know. I said, well, you can go to that school. Do you want to live there? Well, I don't know. Does that school offer you the education that you feel that you want, that will open the most doors, and that's so important to you? Or do you want to decide where you're going to live, maybe for the next 4 years, while you've got this opportunity? Because, once you go into your profession, you may find that picking up and moving, each time you have a whim, you think you want to live there, you think you want to live here, might not be with us the freedom that it is now. You'll have a lot of roots to play with at that time. So as he's weighing who he should listen to and how, I said, for me, I would listen to and talk with the people I respect, their judgment, their views, where they are in life. And so, but listening to them is not doing the same thing. You ever ask someone a question and they say, well, I don't want to make your decision for you. Well, you can't, so don't worry about it. No one's asking you to make their decision. They're asking you to give your opinion. So listen to the opinions, take it on in, allow it to settle in. But then I said to him, but listen, after all that, something inside of you, and if you really listen to it, it's going to sound like you, because it is, your inner felt knowingness is going to say, you know what? This is where I want to be. That's the answer. It's your knowingness is the answer. I want to be in the school. I want to live in this state or this city or this country. Listen to your inner voice. There's a knowingness. As I shared with you when I left my chiropractic practice, when I gave it away to someone so I wouldn't feel compelled to come back in and fix it, it was only because there was a knowingness that I was here to facilitate healing. I didn't even have the knowingness that I was here to teach it yet. Just maybe I did a little bit. But it was about healing. If I listened to my logical mind and my logical friends, very many of them, my family would be saying, but that's your income and it's coming in here and you can support yourself and you can do healing on the side and you can do both. But sometimes the knowingness of who you are, where you are to be, really deserves full honoring. I couldn't do chiropractic as wonderful as it is half the time and healing half of the time. You can't be who you are part of the time. And I saw this person was looking at me and suddenly he got it. You can't go to a school and wonder if you should be somewhere else. Move to a city and wonder if you should have made another choice. But it's not the knowledge, the facts, the figures, even the opinions you get from others. It's somewhere in all of that, in a pause of a moment, there comes a felt knowingness. That's not knowledge. It's knowingness. It is without question. You know, for me, that was, for him, that was college. I mean, right then and there, he made it clear that that understanding just changed his life and clarified his perspective on everything. He just got it. Some of you got it already with the healing. There's a knowingness that you're here for something. There's something more that you have to share, to give, to express, to blossom into more fully. Listen and evaluate the insights of others, but then listen to your inner felt knowingness. That's being. That's being. Some people will say, you're a really great teacher. I have a really great teacher. It's a funny word. Some people will say, I'm not your teacher, I'm your friend. I don't know that that's exactly the best word either. I think what happens is we look towards people to shine a light and then we allow ourselves to see. Do all of our friends shine a light? No, some do. Do all of our teachers shine a light? Not really, but some do. How do you discover whether you're a healer? I found it by letting go of all the things that I found it by experiencing it. Then I was taught lots of things by lots of healers to make me a better healer. And it obscured the healer that I was. All those doings. Do this, do that, wear this, wear that. How do you discover whether you're a healer? Well, if you've been the recipient of a lot of healing advice, leave behind everything you've been told to do. That's it. This will make the healing better. Don't do it. This will help you keep the healing. Don't do it. But what if the healing leaves? But what if it disappears? What if it falls away? That's okay. At least you'll know that that approach wasn't it. As I move through doing all these things, adding the flowers and the special water and turning in this direction and a statue of this person and wearing this crystal, as I did all those things, I noticed that the healings weren't as, I'll say, huge, big, dramatic, whatever words you want to use. And so I added more things to help it become more, and it didn't. If anything, it sort of made it less. And I remember this moment. Listen to this. See if it rings a bell in you. But the moment for me was when I said, I will never know if I'm on my right path as long as I'm putting up all these what ifs and supports. I will only know if I allow healing to stand or fall on its own. I will only know if I pull out the dividers in the ice tray. Don't add a new technique or a new ice cube. Instead, allow the entirety of healing, everything I've learned, everything I haven't, everything I know, everything I think I know, everything I don't know, to all come together, to all reconnect in the awareness, the knowingness of who and what I am. All for healing to reconnect, not a technique of reconnective healing, but let the techniques dissolve, which all techniques eventually do if we just give them permission, and all of healing to reconnect. If I allow healing to stand or fall on its own, without anchors, help, supports, crystals, wands, stand or fall on its own, that is when I know that this is real. This is real healing for real people who don't need to decorate or hope or attempting to enhance. Allow reconnective healing to stand or fall on its own. You'll never question again. You'll never question you again. You leave behind everything you've been told to do, especially that one thing that you know you should always do in a healing. You've heard me say this. Don't do it. What's the worst thing that could happen? You'll die. There's very little chance of that. I haven't seen anyone die yet in the past, 30, 40 years of teaching healing. And if you do die, you'll be okay anyway, right? And if you don't die, well, you'll have just let go of whatever that fear is that made you think you needed to do something a certain way. And when we let go of one fear, 1,001 other fears fall away with it. Try one day for the next year, next 365 days. Let go of one fear, doesn't matter the size, huge, tiny, each day, and 1,001 other fears will fall away with it. At the end of the year, you'll let go of 365,000 little fears you didn't even know you were carrying around. There's nothing left of you but light and love. That's who you are. That's your essence. It never left anyway. It was just obscured with our fears. Well, what if I don't see results after doing a healing thing and I don't do this thing I thought I should do and that thing I should do? Then let go and look for a bigger picture. It's your felt knowingness that's there and will always be there. That is your healing, actually. And sharing that interaction with another, it becomes theirs as well. Healing might not look like you think it should. Maybe a big, gorgeous surprise. Is that all right? Is it? Maybe you wanted a brand new, shiny Mercedes. And instead, you ended up getting a 1968 muscle car You know, the little sports car by who knows, Chevy or Ford or something, makes lots of noise. You think, but that's not what I want. And then you start to ride in it, to drive it, and you go, wow, this is wonderful. It's just that the healing, allow yourself to discover the healing in the package it comes. Don't send it back. Don't say, gee, God, thanks a lot for this, but I'd like it in a different package or wrapping paper. Just open up. Go, cool. Just open up. Say, cool. Okay, I see one request. Let me try and take at least one request to talk. This would be Rosa. Let's see, Rosa, we're going to see if we can go live. I'm accepting Antonio. Oh, it's Antonio Rosa. Okay.
San Antonio Stroll and similar song on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. My Alexa is playing San Antonio music. Okay, come on, Antonio Rosa. Can you come on? Hello, hello. I am trying. And if not, all right, then I'm also going to see if we can accept Gabby Garcia. Hi, Gabby. See if one of you can come on. It feels like one of you might be coming on, but I'm just not seeing. Oh, Gabby. Are you Gabby? It says
Yes.
Antonio's not able to join. You're Gabby. Hi, Gabby.
How are you?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. How are you? Where are you taking us? Down your basement? Outside?
Now basically I just had to exit my office.
So, what would you like to talk about?
It's basically like that part of like how you let go of the ego and to being able to reconnect with your healing self, with yourself as a healer.
So,
How do you how how do you
how I did what with the
differentiate
ego,
how
did you
you
say?
how do you cross that um
Mm.
kind of like blind, I'll say.
Um, Sometimes you don't really know that it's the ego. Sometimes you do. The ego isn't a mistake, that God made. God wasn't working over the creation of the human being and dropped something and went, oops, now I'll never get that out of the human. It plays a function, it plays a role. It's when it takes over and becomes dominant that it's problematic. Um, Sometimes, if we allow ourselves, there's a knowingness, there's a recognition that we're doing something simply because it's right, simply because it's the essence of who we are. Um, we may view it as a mission or a purpose, but there's a difference between feeling that you have a mission or a purpose from the ego because it'll make you grand and you want to lead armies and conquer Europe, and versus there's a mission, there's a purpose that feels good and is an equal, I'll use the word contribution is a better word than that, to everyone and everything, including yourself. And in that, there's such a knowingness, a knowingness, and your felt knowingness. In your felt knowingness, there's no questioning. If you're questioning why you're doing it, look at it, observe it. I mean, I can't walk around and say that I've overcome or mastered my ego. I have an ego just like everyone else. Sometimes mine might roar even more loudly than others. Sometimes theirs than mine. We're not here to kill it. As I said, it's not ego is not a mistake. It's a innocent. It's a learning guide or tool to bring ourselves into balance. So for me, I can only share for me when these healings first came about. From that moment, I knew I was there to share it. I knew the recognition that I could facilitate healing was such a gift that there was nothing else that I wanted. I wasn't looking for, oh, I want another gift. This is it. It was a gift. You say I gave myself that recognition, but it was knowing that I loved chiropractic. It was a wonderful gift, but it was me as my second best. Might feel the same way if I were working for a company or at a store. It might feel wonderful. Does it allow my heart to sing? And does the interaction with it, the sharing of it with others, allow their hearts to sing? Allow people's lives to change in a way that all they feel is their heart, their knowingness, their joy. And suddenly, somewhere in there, I don't hear or feel an ego over acting, responding, leading, distracting, getting in the way. It doesn't mean it's not there, but my function is that beingness. And who you are, Gabby, is not alone. None of us are alone. So whatever we're really allowing ourselves to do, that is love, that is sharing, that is giving, that allows us to feel alive, because I really enjoy talking about sharing, facilitating healing. It allows me to feel alive. So am I doing that for me? Sure, I'm doing that for me. Am I doing that only for me? I think that whatever we do for ourselves, we're doing for everyone and everything, because however we find the heart, the essence, the love, the healer, if you want to say, infinitely that we are, you can't walk into a bedroom and close the door. It affects things. The people walking around behind you may hear a word and they'll come to you later and go, what was that? And that gives you an opportunity to share. And guess what? They may change the way that they're thinking about something or open it up just because they walk down the stairs while you're thinking, I hope that's not distracting anyone. It's not. Life is not a distraction.
Sure. Yeah, it keeps going and keeps going. I think it's like a continuous motion.
Right. It's continuous. It movement, rest, movement, rest, movement, rest. You know, as Jillian explains, movement and rest, but it's not, it doesn't stop. And even then, we think of something that stopped. We go, oh my God, here's a rock. It's not even alive. Really? How's it maintaining its shape? Crack it open. What do you see inside? Crystal. You can see the crystal that's inside the rock. And, you know, how much time did it take for that to happen? Is it still going on even after you break it in half when it's out there? What if someone comes along and, you know, 100 years, 1,000 years, how will it have changed? There's nothing that you can look at that isn't life.
Sorry, thank you.
Please go. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get the crack on back again to my desk.
Oh, sure, whatever you'd like. There's nothing you can look at that isn't life, really. Um, Here, Renee Sugar says, that's correct. Everything comes in my life when I can work with it. I need to have patience to wait, but some people need a Ferrari and I need a slow steam train. Yeah, it's, I don't even remember what your question was. Did I sort of touch it?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did at the beginning. Yeah. It's basically, as I understood, it's to because we can like coexist with that ego in a sense. Like it is, I think it's a part of ourselves. We shall not see it as in a negative way.
I guess ego sort of develops and then we learn how to balance it.
Yeah,
But it's all us. We don't have
yeah,
any extraneous parts.
yeah,
Now we do have parts. I mean, if you look at what's it called? IFS or something, internal family healing. There's an approach in psychology for healing where you look at the aspects of your personality as parts. Well, this is me as a young boy or a young girl, and this is what I wanted here. Here's the part of me that protects. Here's this, here's that. And it's really, as we see those parts, even that is sort of a departure, ultimately for a return to the recognition of the wholeness that we are. So how do you overcome your ego? Maybe we just learn to recognize it,
yeah,
appreciate it, thank you for the role it's playing. Thank it. Look at it. Say, thank you for this role you've been playing and explore it. What role is it playing? There are no bad parts.
yeah.
There
I
are no,
completely like
okay?
completely follow that. You have to like embrace it. It's kind of like embracing some like darkness on ourselves, but at the same time, like knowing there's that light on ourselves. But they
It's
both
not really
make
a
you a
have
whole.
to. Right. And it's not even, and when we recognize it, it's not even a have to. When we recognize it, it's not even that we have to embrace it. It is an embracing that happens because it's the knowingness, it's the recognition, it's a wanting to, because it's a return to our wholeness.
Yeah,
Colleen says, invite the ego in as a curious student. That's a beautiful concept, Colleen. Invite it in as a curious student. We're so busy trying to get a hammer and beat the sucker to death. You know? Let go. It's all a part of you. It's all a part of love. And the reason that I know that you know it is because if you smiled any wider, the corners of your mouth would be touching your ears. Right?
yeah,
When we
for sure.
smile, when we laugh, it means we're getting it. We're getting something inside. People sometimes coming to healing training programs, like we're going to be doing one here in Chicago the end of September or something. So if I'm one of the teachers there, I will be, Jillian and I will be, and I can be standing on the stage or in front of the room addressing people with a concept. And a lot of people are very serious. They want to learn it. And then someone will really laugh at something and someone else will give them a dirty look. And, so I'll voice what other people are thinking. I'll say, stop laughing, damn it. This is a serious healing seminar. You're never going to get it if you don't allow yourself to laugh and
Yeah,
smile. That's the release. That's our knowingness. And your smile and your laughter has brought us all light today. So thank you for joining us.
thank you so
Thank you,
much for
everyone,
making me
for
part of
being
it.
here. Thanks. And hopefully you'll all choose to join us on Solomon Speaks. I think Lexi just put the information in here. Solomon Speaks study group will start in approximately 25 and a half minutes. And you don't, it's a group. It gets together on Zoom. We talk about, we pick some sentences or phrases in Solomon. We discuss the concepts. You don't have to have the book. You can. You don't have to be on camera on the Zoom. You can. You don't have to talk and share with us that way, but we love it if you do. So come join us, everyone. Thank you again. Really,
Thank you so
thank you for
much.
joining and sharing. Everyone, have a wonderful day. And we'll see you maybe in about 25 minutes at Solomon, and we'll see all of you hopefully in half an hour right here, same time, same place, next Wednesday. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
You too.